Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I wanted to share my conversation that I have with myself in terms of what I learned from God as I'm traversing everyday life and talking to God and knowing what knowing that I'm choosing to stay dedicated to my path with God. And I had some insight. And so and this is about what happens when you are on a path of choosing God's plan for you. And it's funny because I laugh at myself because in this life we think we know what we want, and we think we know what our desires are, or how to fulfill happiness and things like that. And for some of us who are pushing ourselves constantly for anchoring in higher resonance codes and higher frequency and God's frequency, if you will, we kind of do know what we want, right? Like, we want to see more harmony, more balance, more peace, more prosperity, more just supporting one another, and culture and gift giving and receiving and things like that. But for anyone who is on this path, I just kind of had it's kind of like a strict thought, but we think we know what we want. When you put aside your personal desires, your human personal desires, like what type of relationship you want to be in, what type of business you want to run, what type of trips you want to make, how much money you want to make, or what kind of things you want in your life. When you start to think bigger and outside of all of that, you start to wonder, like, well, there are those things that I want for myself, but what does God want for me? What does God want for me? What does God want for you? Instead of asking yourself, what is the next thing that I can achieve? What is the next thing I can accomplish? What is the next thing that I want to do? Start asking yourself, what does God want for me? What's God's plan for me? God knows my heart. God knows my mind. God knew me before I knew myself in this existence. What was my agreement with God? What was my agreement with saying, hey, like, God, I know the plan. Like, I'm going to, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to get to work when I get here. When I get to live my earthly experience. Like, I'm going to do the work, God. And then we know of the great forgetting. The great forgetting. Of course, like, there's a systematic oriented, forces that promote that forgetting and promote the separation from you and God, right? Like negative oriented forces, and our systems are super inundated, and we forget that God's like, I'm going to give you a drop of me, and we are forever one, and you are me and I am you. And as long as you don't forget that, you'll be okay. But it's not like your life is going to be like beautifully laid out for you. It might eventually get to that point, but it will be hard. It will take work. And so I wanted to kind of speak to those that are on this dedicated path of serving the light and serving the greater good of all life, and who have this like burning fire inside of them, like for that devotion and dedicated to serving something greater than our personal individual selves, even though as you reach for serving something greater, you also kind of, in this paradoxical way, you push your individual self, because that's just how it goes. It's like a teeter-totter. It's like as one side improves and gets, as you feel that you're building the dedication, the determination, the awareness, the strength, the clarity, the ability, the mental stamina, the heart stamina to ask the very courageous question of like, God, what is your plan for me, and how do I stay on your plan for me? That's a very that's a very, like, in a way, profound thing to do, and it can be very intimidating. And as you do that every day, like I said, it's like a teeter-totter. As you give your thought, give your time, give your attention to the source, to Creator, to God, King Almighty, Creator of the universe, as you do that, as you give up, basically you give up your normal thought frames and your normal systematic, thinking and processing and dreaming and believing, and you start to say, God, like, I want to follow your plan for me, because it's the highest plan. The teeter-totter the other side will, as you go up, it's like a momentum. The other side of your individual path will also go up too, and it's kind of like a teeter-totter. Like, as you give your life, not give your life to God, yeah, basically what you're giving to God is your thoughts, your mind. You're giving God the permission to activate your heart in ways that we put binds in our heart. There's blockages in our hearts, and there's wounding in our hearts, and that's what you give up. You give that to God. You give your problems to God. You give your heart to God. You give your mind to God, because God knows His highest plan for you. It's the highest plan. It's like if you are trying to go to school, or like you're trying to figure out the best way to build your home, don't you want the best plan? Don't you want the highest plan? The highest plan to have you build the best things possible. You want the highest plan. So as I was like, because I've been on this dedicated path of trying not to live my life out of like past core wounds, like I find myself struggling. It's like a muscle. It's like, well, I want a family, I want a marriage, I want potential, to steward in children and things like that. These are my desires, right? And part of me is like, well, I gotta let that mind frame go, release that, so God can fill me in, so God can fill me in His plan for me. And like, that's a hard thing to do, but it's just to kind of represent, like, I'm also like having to do hard things. So then I started thinking about, this is not to like bash anyone out there, but this is about like the new age spirituality. And there's a lot of people out there that post YouTube videos talking about like, oh, like you'll never have to work again, or like, oh, like 5D, you're never meant to work, or you're never, meant to like have to like, I don't know, like, yeah, like you're just meant to always be provided for. And I have listened to YouTubers like that, and I have followed YouTubers like that, because there's an aspect in that I think we're all trying to pierce the veil through, because there's an aspect to that there's some type of inversion going on in our 3D matrix system. And there's an aspect to YouTubers saying that we're like, resonating with, because we know and we feel something's wrong and a little bit off about our 3D matrix system, about the economy and how the economy basically controls our lives and finances and things like that. And there's an aspect to that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really feel right that I'm like slaving away my life, right? But this is where I want to talk about discernment, because when you're on the path of uniting as much as you physically, mentally, emotionally, physically as you can, is you are aligning your path with source, you're aligning your path with God, King, God, creator of the universe. God has a plan for you. God has a plan for you. And God doesn't say that this is not going to take work, that this is not going to be hard, that this is not going to mean, put your feet up and where you don't have to do anything for the rest of your life. That's not God's plan for us. We're trying to change the narrative and anchor in higher resonance and higher frequencies and higher harmonics for changing the way our economy is, changing the way our culture is, changing the way we give and receive, how we take care of each other, how we reclaim and empower our lives, how to, empower us so that we have the knowledge and we know how to take right alignment in that knowledge, so that we're more empowered beings, so we can spread more love and take care of each other. God has a plan for you, and that doesn't mean that you're never going to work again in your life. It's actually quite the opposite. Once you start aligning your path with source, with the universe, with the highest, right? Like the highest, you are going to open up yourselves in ways that spiritually, where you become the walking miracle. You hold the medicine, you hold the keys, you hold the highest structures possible that we can anchor here in this 3D. And you tell me, if you're anchoring in God's resonance codes, God's frequency fields, if you're receiving and opening up and becoming a channel, and you're aligning your life with God's plan for you, you tell me if that means that you're gonna, be on vacation 365 and like bunkered in your house, overlooking the ocean or something 365. Like, you tell me if you're in God's purpose and you're in God's plan and you have the codes and you're feeling in your whole spiritual body the resonance of God within you, and that part of God's plan is, when you're on God's plan, when you feel nothing, when you feel nothing but the want and the will to help for expansion, expanding God's plan, not exerting God's will on other people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying go out there and like preach and like try to insert God's will on people. No. When you're in the state of God's plan, my belief is that love expands, growth expands, caring and giving expands, opportunities expand. It's just like a blooming flower. Everything in your life blooms, everything in your life expands. There's not this feeling of contraction or restriction or fear. It's the opposite. It's like, I know this is God's plan, and therefore it's the highest plan, and nothing's going to nothing's gonna be able to blow down my house. You know what I mean? Like, so for the YouTubers that are saying like you'll never have to work another day in your life, like, I just invite you into the concept and idea that no, like, it is very, very, very healthy to be skilled at something, to have your hands be at work. And I was thinking the other day, I've been working on some financial astrology stuff, and I've been researching Venus and what Venus can teach us about finance and economy, because that's something that I like to do. And I've been sitting with this work for a while, and I haven't been able to post anything on it yet, because there's this evolving spirit inside of it that like is having me hold off and wait. But I was thinking about how, what was my point? Oh yeah, so I was thinking about like culture and economy and finance. And I was thinking about how like in our 3D matrix we have negative forces and powers that be, and then we have positive forces that be that are for the greater good of humanity in our lives, and then you have the negative oriented ones that are trying to strip our spirits, our connection to source, to God, to our rights and our ability to claim what is our God-given rights in this world and this reality. And I was thinking like, kind of like, oh, like if I build my own culture, like what would be the basis to that, right? And for me, one of the things that will have to be cultivated, which has been in other cultures historically and currently, so it's not like I don't want to like say like this concept has not already been there, but I'm just kind of like thinking how would I do it kind of thing. And there probably is a lot of crossover in ancient cultures and recent cultures of how you would need shamans and oracles and seers and people who have the ability to pierce through the veil, and to help them prepare for seasons of drought, seasons without, to prepare the land, to prepare how to, to prepare and help heal the culture and help, help receive God's guidance through their messaging, through their shamanic work, through being an oracle, through being, a medicine worker. Like, we would need these people to basically help lead our culture and help lead our economies and help lead our ability to sustain life and to have life be more harmonious. And when someone is ill or hurt or injured, we all come around and we all uplift and we all care, we all pitch in. And so my idea of like culture and economy and society is like, we need to have oracles and shamans and psychics and seers and people that are deeply can pierce through the veils and receive God's messaging to help lead and guide and steward. And one of the questions that came up was like, well, if you are a shaman, if you are a psychic, if you are oracle, if you are, if you have the psychic ability, if you're, if you can see through your third eye, if you can feel in your body higher resonance field, like, how are you going to sustain your life? And typically, like, you don't want to charge service for, for like being a shaman. But I was like, no, what part of being an oracle and part of being a shaman and part of being all these things is you have to let go of those things as well. And so it would be kind of like a cultural mandate that if you are a shaman or an oracle or a seer, you're going to also dedicate your life to a craft. You're going to have a high level skill and craft that will contribute to your culture and contribute to your society, where naturally the peoples will need to come to you for the service that you're skilled in, right? And this could be anything, but it has to be something outside of being the shaman. But why does that also work too? Because when you are a seer, when you are a shaman, you have to let go of that space. And you know how they say like, oh, you're going to go into flow state? Like, you're going to put yourself in a position where your mind is not so tightly linked to receiving messages all the time, but you let go of that and you put yourself in your hands into doing some kind of work. You become extremely skilled and crafted at it. And that not only helps you economically and financially to support your life, you offer some kind of craft or skill that you develop and you do, and for financial reasons, to make sure that you're well and okay. Two, for your own soul and your own spirit, to step outside of constantly having to be, in that state of complete connection with constantly receiving messaging. You break away from that. You give that area space in your field. You dedicate yourself to a craft, to a skill, learn something, become really good at it. People will need it. You need your service. And so you have this natural symbiotic ecosystem working for yourself. So I was like, yeah, that's how if you are all these things, spiritual and a shamanic or a visionary or oracle, or become really, really skilled at something, and it could be completely outside of the field of spirituality, but then at the same time, like, everything's spiritual. So, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you can, like, I don't know, you can learn how to craft some, make a boat, or like build houses, or medicine, and you make medicines and tinctures, or like you just somehow you dedicate to some type of thing and you become really, really good at it, and then you can support yourself, and then you're contributing to society where your people around you don't have to like give you offerings, right? Like, they don't have to like support your life of being the shaman or the leader of your community, your tribe. So that's why I'm like, God's plan doesn't say that you'll never have to work in your life. Like I had believed that at one point, like, oh, everything's just gonna fall into my lap, and but then it's like, as you grow and connect to God, it's like, oh wait, you're like, oh crap, wait a minute, hold on. The more I'm on this path, the more you realize that you are going to be called upon, and you're gonna be called upon, and you're gonna have the ability to be of great service to your community, to your culture. So it's quite the contrary. And I think that's the biggest point I wanted to hit on in this. Well, there was like 3 points. It's one, it's like, I dare you to practice when you are in the time of just any season in your life. Give God permission to help you stay on God's plan for you. There's your plan, there's my Sarah plan in my mind, and then there is the Most High's plan. Push yourself to saying, I want to follow your plan, God. What's your plan for me, God? Help me stay on your plan, on this path, God. Help me stay on this path. Help me with the strength, with the courage, with the flexibility, with the adaptability, with the insight, with the clarity. Help me with all these things. Help me overcome any fear to stay on the Most High's plan for you. The Most High's plan for you. You're going to have to overcome fear, doubt. You're going to have to overcome people attacking you, or people trying to have you question your will to stay on God's plan and path for you. You're going to have to ask for clarity, for wisdom, for knowledge, for insight, for strength, for when you're tired and weary, for recovery. Dedicate your life to this plan, to God's plan, to God's path. And let me know how that goes. Let me know how that goes. If this messaging has resonated with you at all, thank you for being here. And when they say God is love, God is love. God is truly love. And when you are like backed up in a corner and you're like, God, but I wanted this thing the most. I wanted this person the most. I wanted this relationship the most, God. I wanted this job the most, this career the most, God. And God loves you. So you like, God, don't you love me, God? Like, don't you love me? Why didn't you grant permission for these things to happen, God? Why didn't you allow me to see this all the way through to the end, God? Why did you take this thing from me, God? Why did you take this loved thing from me, God? And you start to think God doesn't love you. But that's not what it is at all. It's what you wanted. It's what you wanted and thought you needed, or just wanted and desired. What you want and what you need, right? Like, it's like you start to condition your mind. No, these are the things that I truly wanted, and these are the things that I truly felt that I needed. And God's trying to tell you, like, I know what you need. I got you. I know what you need. And I know that you have desires, and I know that you might think and know that what you want, but I know what you need. And I know what's going to expand your life exponentially. I know I have the plan for you. I have the plan for you. So when you're, when you're backed up in that corner and you're like, God, like, why did da 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 da? Instead of saying why, just be like, God, show me your way, God. Show me your plan. Show me your way. Show me your way and get me out of this and get me on your path, God. Show me your way. Show me your way, God. And then you go on your path and you go on your journey, and you start to check your six, you check your back, you check your sides. You're like, am I doing good? Like, am I like, God, I'm doing good, right? Like, I'm on your plan, I'm on your path, I'm on your plan. Like you're checking all the forces around you. You do this every day. You do this every day. God, guide me here. God, give me clarity and strength here. You keep doing this. You keep doing this. And then you tell me if God doesn't ever want you to work in your life. No, you're going to be serving your greatest path of destiny. You will be busy. You will be doing work. You will be doing true work, God's work for you. You will be in your highest individualized self-being, self-source God code mode. You're going to be at work heavily, and you're going to be so passionate about it. It's not going to even feel like work. You're going to be like, I don't even have enough hours in the day. So this is to say to just ask God for his plan, the Most High. Like this video if it resonated with you, or if it inspired you and made you wonder, like, oh yeah, like, this might make some sense. Like this video, leave a comment, share, subscribe. And God loves each and every one of us, and God has a plan for each and every one of us. And invite God in every single day. Invite him in. Remember, we have free will. So invite God in and just be like, God, like, I give you full permission. Mind, body, soul, spirit. Like, keep me on your path, God. Yeah. And much love, everyone. God bless.